Years ago, I worked as an OB/GYN in a busy San Francisco suburb. Among my patients was a high-ranking executive at a big health insurance company. She was known for her ambition and skill in reducing healthcare benefits for patients. One of her changes was implementing a policy where women who had a cesarean section would be discharged in just 2 days, instead of the usual 4-day hospital stay. During one of her visits, I mentioned the new policy to her. I expressed concern that it could be tough for some patients to recover from major surgery in such a short time, while also caring for a newborn. Her response surprised me. She simply smiled and said that she didn't climb the corporate ladder by giving away money. In her view, patients needed to tough it out because health insurance wasn't meant to be a convenience. As fate would have it, she herself became pregnant with twins after undergoing in vitro fertilization. Despite being 42 years old, she chose to attempt a vaginal delivery for a quicker recovery. However, her labor turned out to be long and extremely difficult, ultimately resulting in a cesarean section. On the second day after the delivery, I went to her room to complete her discharge from the hospital. To my surprise, she adamantly refused to leave. She deemed it inhuman to expect her to go home and care for twins in her current condition. She could barely walk, and the situation felt overwhelming. She proposed a solution, urging me to write a note in her medical chart stating that she was experiencing complications, which would authorize her to stay longer. I firmly declined, explaining that such an action would be fraudulent, and I wouldn't be willing to falsify medical records. About a year later, the state of California stepped in and forced the health insurance company to reverse their policy. It seemed justice had been served.
I used to work at a company that set me up with a retirement account through Fidelity. Later on, I switched jobs and got a retirement account with a different provider. So I decided to give Fidelity a call and ask them to transfer the funds from my old account to the new one. But guess what? Fidelity had the audacity to charge a $50 account closing fee. Why? Well, who knows? They just wanted to make things difficult. I tried to outsmart them by suggesting I leave $1 in the account, but nope. They insisted on a $50 minimum in case I changed my mind later. That's when I decided to play along with their silly rules. I told them to roll over all my funds except for $50. I wanted to keep the account open, and you know what else? I asked them to send me quarterly updates on that measly $50. Let them invest it and watch it grow. Now it has become a yearly ritual for me. Every year I pick up the phone and call Fidelity to transfer almost all of my account balance, leaving just a few dollars behind. I must confess by now I've cost them way more than $50 in services, postage, and those checks they send me. But hey, I still have many decades until retirement. I wonder how much more I can make them spend before they finally give in and hand me my $50. I'll stick with this game until the end, even if it means I'll take that account to my grave. Why? Because, well, screw them.
I worked as a medic in Salt Lake City for a while. One rainy day, my partner and I received a call about someone experiencing chest pain, which meant we had to respond quickly with lights and sirens. We arrived at a nice house in an upscale neighborhood. There, we found a woman waiting on the curb with suitcases already packed, which raised some concerns. I turned off the siren but left the lights on for safety. We asked her if she had called 911, and she confirmed it. She got into the ambulance and sat on the bench, urging us to hurry. I explained that we needed to conduct a thorough examination before we could leave. This way, we could provide proper care on the way and take her to the appropriate facility. She responded by saying that she didn't really have chest pain. She simply had a procedure scheduled at the hospital. She wanted us to turn off the flashing lights so her neighbors wouldn't notice and ask questions. It was clear that she was misusing the emergency medical services, and I called her out on it. Suddenly, her chest pain miraculously returned. I informed her that I needed to take her vital signs and perform an electrocardiogram, ECG. She objected again, mentioning that her appointment was in less than 30 minutes. So I decided to ask her directly, did she truly need medical attention, or should we involve the police? I proceeded to conduct a thorough examination right in front of her house, taking my time and asking enough questions to make her frustrated. I left the strobe lights on the whole time, ensuring that the neighbors would notice. As a result, she ended up being late for her appointment because we admitted her to the hospital through the emergency room rather than the front doors.
This story isn't about me. but I love hearing my dad tell it. A while ago, he went to a multi-day course to learn some extra stuff for his job. On the last day, there was a test with multiple choice questions to pass the seminar. The teacher warned everyone that cheating wouldn't be taken lightly, and you'd get one warning before being kicked out. This teacher was super strict, treating adults like naughty kids, and that didn't sit well with my dad. So, my dad starts the test and things are going pretty smoothly. He answers most of the questions without a problem, but there's one that he's not sure about. But hey, he's got a free warning, right? So, out of the blue, my dad blurts out, "Hey, what's the answer to question 14? And guess what? Some dude across the room shouts the answer back. My dad fills in the answer, gets up, calmly walks to the teacher's desk. I imagine the teacher's jaw hitting the floor, hands in his test, and walks out of the room. To the teacher's surprise, he actually showed my dad some grudging respect afterward. I'm not sure if the teacher changed his ways or softened up.
Please like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you.